Hi, YouTube. It's been a while since I've been on. My battery replacement surgery went very well, um, but I'm not sure. They told me they were going to deaden the area that they were going to be working on, but I felt, before I was totally under, I felt pain where they were going to make the incision. And I don't know if they were using really long needles to deaden that area or if I was actually feeling a scalpel making the incision. I felt two of them, one going one way and one going the other, so I think it was probably shots. Who's to say? I didn't ask. Okay, so I spent the night at my mom's, and she brought me back on Tuesday, about midday, and I don't remember anything else until I woke up in the hospital on Thursday. Apparently, what happened was first thing Wednesday morning, I had a very strong, long seizure and had a hard time breathing. And my caregiver witnessed this, and so about an hour later, I had another one just like it. And on the third one, about an hour later, my caregiver and my son decided they better call 911 because the seizures weren't going to stop, and they were the worst ones. Well, the worst ones my caregiver has ever seen. So Alex says, well, Maria, you call 911. I'm going to take a shower. Okay, this is fine, because I raised Alex to not have to take care of me when I have seizures. I just take care of myself. So since I was completely unconscious, I had no idea any of this was happening, and I was fine with it after I found out. So I guess they took me to the emergency room, but our living room had all the furniture moved to the living room, to the middle of the room, sorry, because we had to do that for a bed bug treatment, and we hadn't moved the furniture back yet. So Alex and Maria were busy shoving very heavy furniture. I mean, this stuff weighs about a ton, back to the walls because the paramedics couldn't get the gurney out of the apartment, and they somehow got me on the gurney, and I'm seizing away, on the gurney and everything. And anyway, so they got to the emergency room, and I have no idea what happened there. Remember, I'm unconscious, okay, still seizing, but I think the seizures were winding down. They weren't as violent. But I wasn't waking up. So I guess they admitted me. As I say, I didn't wake up till Thursday morning, so I woke up. I knew where I was. I couldn't respond to anybody, but I was conscious. And I just laid there, post-ictal, in a stupor, and somehow I was able to watch the Oprah show. And it seemed like that hour, not the Oprah show, what am I talking about? The View. So that hour from 10 to 11 seemed like it lasted all day. And nurses came and went, and they said, how are you doing, sweetie? And I said, okay. So they left, and left me there to recuperate, which was fine. I mean, I couldn't do anything. Anyway, couldn't get up, couldn't cooperate, couldn't do anything. And they knew that. And then, I don't know how much later, a physical therapist came, and I'm still a noodle, okay? I didn't have control of my body, and she wanted me to sit up and then stand up and stay standing up. Well, I was a little panicky, but I was really still in a stupor, so I didn't get that panicky. I guess my brain couldn't manage it or something. And I was very uncomfortable. I don't know, emotionally, I guess, about doing these things with the physical therapist, and she finally let me lie down, and I felt much better. It's a huge relief. So, and people came and went, and they asked me questions, and like, do you have this service? Do you have that? It must have been a social worker. And I have almost every service in the book, so I just said I have everything, and they said okay, and they left. And then they brought me some lunch, which was good, but I would go, okay, pick up the food. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to eat this. So I get it like this and kind of go and forget it was in my hand. And then I realized it was in my hand, and I took a little bite. And I'm doing this because it was a tortilla wrap. It was supposed to mimic sushi, but they put the sushi stuff in the tortilla wrap and no seaweed, which is bad because I could have used the seaweed instead of the tortilla. More healthy for you. So I think I took about 3 or 4 bites of that, and couldn't really eat much more. So they brought me some ice cream, and it melted all over the place because same thing with the spoon. I'm holding the ice cream and got the spoon. Oh yeah, I've got ice cream. Oh, what am I supposed to do? And I would sit there for I don't know how long, maybe a couple minutes. I wasn't going in and out of consciousness. I was just going in and out of, what do I do with this? I know what it is, but, you know. And anyway, so I got stronger and stronger, and I wanted to get up and, walk around a little, and they let me do it. I couldn't believe it. They've never done that with me before. They always say, oh, use the bedpan. You cannot get up and blah, blah, blah. So the doctor came in, and she said, I'm sending you home tomorrow. And by that time, I was feeling really, really, really crappy and going downhill. And I found out that night it was because they weren't giving me my Ativan, which I'm supposed to take on a regular basis 4 times a day. But in the chart, it said take as needed, and I wasn't having any more seizures. But I said, you've got to check this out because, you can't just take me off Ativan. I'm going to have more seizures. And it took them about 3 hours, but they checked it out and they finally brought it. And I just felt good right away. Not enough to get up and dance, but I got the medication I needed. So I felt good enough and changed my mind about not wanting to go home the next day. I did want to go home the next day after I got my Ativan. But we went through the same thing with the Ativan the next morning. But I got it, and I was ready to go home. I was a lot stronger, a lot more alert and responsive. And I said some dumb things, but I mean, I wasn't rude, but it was like, the day I woke up, they asked me if I knew when I came in, and I said no, and they said yesterday. Well, I thought it was Tuesday for some reason because I looked at the board where they write down who the nurse and the doctor and the technician is, and it had the date and the day. And I thought it said Tuesday, but it really said Thursday, but I thought it said Tuesday, and I kept telling them, oh, I had my surgery yesterday. That's surgery to replace the battery, see. But it wasn't the date. It wasn't yesterday. It was 2 days ago, not Thursday, 3 days ago, actually, that I had the surgery. So anyway, the next day, when I was going to go home on Friday, I asked if I could put my clothes on, and one nurse told me no. And I couldn't figure that out. So I got another person to give me my bag, and I was going to change, and I reached in, and it was, oh,